Scholars, welcome back to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor, your favorite Peter Griffin cosplayer. Shut up, Meg. Anyways, this is an ongoing joke that's going to continue on. We're live with chat. We can go full screen for this. All right, we can go full screen. That's right. Shut up, Meg. Meg, shut up. Anyways, today we're doing part 2. We talked about Cynics getting, banned, accused being banned for two boxing, and the reason that people were arguing and defending them or against them is because skill-based matchmaking.
Skill-based matchmaking, also known as SBMM. Ah, yes. I do believe I remember Brian crying about it while playing Fortnite. He always blamed SBMM turning around into an episode of the Kardashians. I think he was implying it was fake and boring.
Wait, so SBMM ain't some kind of rash? Well, that would explain that awkward interaction I had with that one Twitch streamer named Shroud. He kept on yelling at me, telling me to stop rage baiting him. I was only trying to recommend a good doctor for his rash.
No, you dolt. Picture this. In multiplayer video games, like the one where you're inevitably embarrassing yourself, the system scans your skill level. Kills, deaths, win rate, how often you camp in a corner eating nachos mid-match, and then it pairs you with players of similar competence. So you, with your KD ratio of roadkill, get matched against other mouth breathers who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if it was dipped in ranch dressing. Because fat ass, even among the dregs of society, there are relative gods. You're the village idiot playing against the town fool, who still owns a musket. SBMM ensures fair games. No more steamrolling toddlers.
Holy crap, Stewie. That makes sense. No wonder I can't bully noobs anymore. It's affirmative action for gamers. All right, time to climb the ranks. Watch me become a pro, or at least beat Fart Ninja.
I'm gonna put it on the cards on the table. I don't like skill-based matchmaking. Why do I not like it? Well, I'm an old man. Not really, but I feel like an old man. Back in the days, we're about to grill. We're gonna show you what not to do when you're trying to make an argument against skill-based matchmaking, what not to do. And I'm going to show you how to actually make a valid argument, or at least talk about it. Personally, from my own experience, Halo was fun. You played Halo, you got your ass kicked. Then you got to kick other people's asses, unless you're in rank, which I don't even think rank even had. It was based maybe on your rank and point, that would balance out skills as well. But not always guaranteed, but it was fun. People played PvP games and had a good time, and we're excited. People were lining up out your local GameStop for the next Halo and Call of Duty. Like, that was just life. People never needed skill-based matchmaking. Shit sold, people played. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, as someone who very, very casually plays PvP, used to actually put effort into it, with all the changes since Edge of Fate, what I've done in PvP is I have tanked my KD, because I will be a complete asshole, even in trials, where I'll just get a kill, and then I will just sit there. If my team is meh or not good, and I feel like it's wasting my time, I'll watch Netflix, and then I'll just sit there and proceed to die over and over and over and over again, or I'll jump off the cliff. I know, asshole, don't care, but I always get ranged shit ton of tier 5 loot. And so that's how my KD is down the gutter. But when I do try, like if I have a good match, I'll get some bots because of how low the KD is. And in the moment, like SBM it feels like it's so aggressive, especially with such a low player population in Destiny 2. If I have a really good match, I'm immediately paired with some of the sweatiest players possible, because the game's like, oh, you got a 2 KD that round? Bet. Here's some 3 KDs, 2 KDs. You're now ready for the big boy leagues. It's just crazy. And sometimes I'm not gonna say that I'm just an average player. I can have good games. I can pop off. I can get Wii rans. I think I've gotten 1 or 2 seventh columns, but that's it. Like, I'm not out here montaging, telling you how to do it. I'm not doing trials carries. That's not me. I'm not that guy. That's Grenadier Jake. I'm not that guy. But even I, as a very average player, can tell skill-based matching when it hits on. And we'll continue this argument in a minute. Why am I bringing this up? Why? Because we need to talk about the side of the Destiny 2 community that is upset with skill-based matchmaking, but they say or go about, making these arguments against skill-based matchmaking in the most retarded way possible. Like completely stupid, brain dead. And we have this rare specimen today. Math rock sucked. By the way, I think my response was very tame. Skill-based matchmaking is for losers. I remember when I was on COD 4 Halo 3, we got beaten by better players. We would watch the kill cams, check the match replays, even try to strike up conversations so we could get better, not cry at companies to protect our egos. The very first words, it sucks. I agree with you. But it's ironic to talk about skill-based matchmaking and then talk about how you used to look at kill cams. So you're trying to connect them together. Shut the fuck up. You pay for cheaters or cover your account for contest clears. You useless troglodyte.
Now, anyone with 2 brain cells can understand Mr. GC was pointing out the inconsistency of this guy's statement. Let's break it down to the point where his smooth brain can follow along. Our first example is playing Call of Duty 6. Math's statement implies you can't watch kill cams with skilled-based matchmaking. Well, that seems to be not true. Math's statement also implies you can't message people to strike up a conversation. Well, that also seems to be not true. You see, the irony is that Math is trying to convince people that SBMM removes the ability to take actions when these actions can be done, regardless of whether SBMM is in place or not, and is entirely based on whether or not the game allows kill cams or allows you to directly message a player. Hence, this buffoon is spouting nonsense, which is why he's aggressively switching the conversation in order to avoid looking like a dumb bitch.
Yeah, I hurt their feelings. They're like, what? You made sense? No. I'm going to deflect and bring up something that has nothing to do with it, which is what I said, right? I paid for a recov to pad my account, which is why I never talk about terms of service. I don't give a shit about terms of service. Bungie doesn't give a shit about terms of service. And technically, by Bungie's terms of service, account recoveries could get you banned or restricted. Could, meaning it may not, right? So who gives a shit? Also, when you're selling shit, you don't give a shit, right? But you still can't rub 2 brain cells together to realize what was ironic. Again, the whole thing was, I agree, but the argument that you're trying to make is fallacious. I didn't pay for a cheater. I was just literally getting scanned. And I love this. Now, shut the fuck up, come up with an original thought or argument. Paid for a recov and PvE. That means you have no skill. Go wash your hair. Again, can't talk about the actual argument. The people like this who lack intelligence. No, I take this back. It's not that they lack intelligence. They're just retarded. They have intelligence. They refuse to use it because it doesn't fit the narrative. In their mind, they think if I concede that I said something stupid or something that was, you know what, you're right. They concede the argument that somehow SBM is okay, which wasn't even the argument. Like trying to understand some of the stupidity of these people is you'll lose some brain cells.
Really, Math, you should return your high school degree, assuming you even have one in the first place. You really are the poster child of what a lack of critical thinking looks like, and I'm sorry the education system failed you.
I can't keep this anymore! I'm so sorry!
You see, people often resort to Math's kind of arguments as a form of the ad hominem fallacy, where instead of addressing the actual points or evidence, they target the opponent's character, motives, or attributes to undermine them. This tends to happen when someone feels they're losing ground, as it shifts focus away from the weakening logic of their position and onto something irrelevant about the other person. It's a low-effort, superficial hit. Looks are visible and subjective, making them an accessible way to mock someone when you've run out of substantive rebuttals.
And I even tried baiting them back into the SBM. I tried baiting them back into it. Ironic coming from the guy who can't handle SBM, which is ironic. You're talking about me not having skill and you can't handle SBM, which forces you to play against sweatier players. which again, I would agree, right? I would agree that that shit stinks. Very obvious that when I come back home from work, and I know if you've never worked a day in your life, you probably don't know what, that you sweat. Or if you work out, you work at McDonald's, they don't care that you don't shower, right? And so you don't even think about it, right? You're like, if this person used to work at McDonald's, so they are like, oh no, people don't shower. But if you are like me and you work in an actual career, they expect you to take care of yourself. Full stop. That's just how it is in the actual, when you have a professional job, you're required to have hygiene. People like that were at the back of the line when God was giving out brain cells. Anyway, so then we have another person here. Yes, I love this. Yes, a 0.5 KD player is going to improve from watching a 0.5 KD player. Let's be honest. The people who are complaining about skill-based matchmaking aren't dudes who have 0.5 KDs. Except for me. Well, I probably have a 0.3, but that's because I literally throw, like I do. I'm doing the old trials, throw yourself off for loot strat, except I get one kill and then I do that, or I just let myself die. Like, I'm an asshole and I don't care, right? But for people who are generally playing the game and are actually trying, that are that low level, they love skill-based matchmaking. That is what skill-based matchmaking is for the little dudes. But anyways, but even if you're a 3 KD facing a 3 KD, you can 100% learn and see what weapons and builds they're using. If you lose, how to spot a retard. SBM is bad because here's your argument. No one wants to play esports every match regardless of skill. No one wants to play esports. You know what the simplest argument is for why skill-based matching is bad? Is because sometimes you want to load up and yeah, you want to farm some bots. You want to just slay out. Sometimes you do want to have a sweaty match, but you would rather be random than always having to sweat your nuts off. Always having to be like it's an esports match. And in our previous video, we had a comment about Cynics, I think is what their name is, got banned, which we don't know. It's accused because they're accused of 2-boxing. We don't know. And Bungie's never going to say, right? There was literally a comment, one of the reasons to justify 2-boxing is because quick play is the new comp. And that's where a lot of new, high-end PvP players, that's where they feel like, right? I'm not a high-end PvP player, but that doesn't mean I don't pay attention and see what the PvP players are talking about. They're the new Gambit. They're now being neglected as much as Gambit did when Gambit was being neglected. And Gambit's just literally off in its own universe at this point. Gambit's been relegated to Renegades now. It's a little Easter egg that you do occasionally in an activity. And that's what PvP feels like it's slowly becoming. But for the main, you hear some of the top players talk about skill-based matchmaking. They want to have fun. They don't want to load up to a quick play and it be sweatier than competitive. Like, that's how you formulate an argument or a logical thought. Not, well, back in the day, we used to watch kill cams and ask dudes what their loadouts were and what was going on. Like, you can still do that. That's not an argument.
Don't worry. Math, you don't need a master's degree to figure out how to appropriately argue against skilled matchmaking. Here, let's do the least amount of work possible while not sounding like a dumbass. Grok, give me 5 things that sound logical that are against SBMM. Something that would even convince Brian.
Yeah, those do sound pretty good. If I was Math, I would check the ego at the door because he just turned himself into the easiest piece of content. Easier than the time Parabellum figured out the solution to the Desert Perpetual Raid because a Bungie employee was helping them.
When you say stupid shit about like someone's looks and yada, 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 you're never going to convince people to join your side. Like, I guarantee if we look at the comment section, how many people are fighting against it? Even says, if you come in here and accuse me of being an elitist, you're getting blocked. Literally, look me up. I'm an average player. They think they're catering to. Again, you are never going to win against people, especially casuals, and convince them otherwise. You're never gonna, in this is not how you do it. You're not explaining why it's bad. You're making a fallacious argument, and then you're posting shit about someone's looks. Because the game, here we go. Because the game doesn't really pit you against your own skill. It waits until you have a good game and puts you in lobbies where you get molested because it thinks you're good enough to carry. This right here is where this needs to be. Remove all this shit. Say, I remember playing Halo 3 and I didn't have to get molested by carrying people. And that's all I'm saying. Like, I agree with this guy, but he's being a retard in response to me. And I'm not even against him. I am now because he's just a retard. It's always the dudes with low intelligence that can never think of an actual logical argument or resort to talking about someone's hair. By the way, I want you to fully know you're getting mogged and made fun of by a dude who looks like he's a wannabe Peter Griffin cosplayer. See, I can change how I look. You can't change being a retard. Listen, you start using your brain. Question, what is your preferred alternative? Me curious? Just go back to how we used to have shit. Like, quick play should be a quick play. You load in, you play, you go. That's how it should be. Skill-based matchmaking should be for competitive. Right? That's the whole point of skill-based matchmaking. It should be, I love this guy. This guy it says cock, it should just say dumbass. I didn't pay for a cheater to recover me. I just paid some random dude off eBay who, and this was a response to me telling people. I love this because it's not even the original argument. People will deflect from one argument when they can no longer debate you or argue against your point. They will deflect and try to latch on to something else to skew the narrative away from the thing that they can no longer argue against. It's a common tactic for people who can't debate or lack, they'll never surrender a point saying, you know what, you're right. It's very Destiny 2 pro player. Oh, okay. That part, that's actually kind of funny. $9.82. That's funny. Let's go competitive, right? Let's go competitive. Competitive, only 1,000 players. And do you think those are casual players? No, absolutely not. You think those are, maybe you might have a couple casual players in there, but you think casual players are playing comp? That's a joke. Let's see on Steam. On Steam alone, we have you definitely have some casuals in there, but it's mostly going to be your diehard Destiny players. They're the things that are barely keeping it alive, especially with swiping those microtransactions. But let's trials. And this right here is why Bungie will cater to casuals over veterans and the top tier players. Even though I don't understand how we have comp, trials, quick play, and then like Iron Banner. Like, there's so many different PvP game modes that all outside of comp seem like they do the same thing, where you just do the thing and you get loot. Like, I mean, that's like duh, right? But it feels like it's all just, you don't have to put any effort. Iron Banner, get a kill, die, you get rain tier loot, tier 5 loot. Trials, get a kill, die, who cares about going to getting flawless or going to the lighthouse? Get rain tier 5 loot. Comp, same thing. You want that nice new comp weapon? Die. You actually have to get like a somewhat decent score if you get like at least a B. So if you've got max 550 and then you have the paid score from the battle pass at 15%, you pretty much just gotta get a kill and you're at least guaranteed like a B, and you'll get a chance of getting that comp weapon. You don't have to try, right? And that's the state of PvP. It is benefiting the casual player to not actually try. And Trials is a paid PvP mode. It is attached. You can only get access to it while paying to play, the expansion. So let's look at Trials. Endless Veil at its top. 60, this is including console and it's including PC. About 54K players. And it's dropped down to 29. It dropped down to 29, which is probably the last day, right? But this is a clear indication that more people are playing Trials, which is paid. You have to pay to play. This isn't just casuals who are just booting up Portal and playing for free. These aren't your casual. These are people that are buying the expansion. Bungie has no incentive to remove skill-based matchmaking. I mean, they eventually will for Trials, but when it comes to the rest of PvP, they have no reason to remove skill-based matchmaking, especially when people are still paying to play. More people are. I think comp is free. Maybe you have to pay for that too. I'm not for sure. I know quick play and all that stuff is free. They're not going to remove that because they want the little Timmies to be able to play and then, oh, I like PvP. I want to try Trials now. Well, you gotta swipe your card. Okay, $40. Now you're thrown into, the Trials pool, and then you got your two different versions. You got your little Timmy pool, and then you got the big boy pool, and neither version matters because all you have to do is get a kill, and then you get, as long as you're like max rank and all that jazz, you'll get your rain on loot. And that's just not skill-based matching, by the way. That's just how Bungie is set up. Destiny 2 and the loot system is just awful. But Bungie, like, you have to convince the casuals, the people, because not all these are sweaty players. You've got tons of casuals jumping in to get some easy loot, because even if they do ass, and there is currently skill-based matchmaking right now, they do fucking ass. Or if they're like me and they just literally throw the moment they have a bad team and they just want the round to go quick as possible to get that easy tier 5 loot. You gotta convince those people, not me. I'm on your side. Skill-based matchmaking is bad. You gotta convince those people, the casuals and the little 0.5s, the little Timmies, why is skill-based matchmaking overall, and why? And I don't think that a lot of the veterans are doing a good job. They're complaining to Bungie, and you're seeing this happen in PvE, by the way, where even you've got, elite players being upset about some of the changes to PvE, where it used to be more, challenging, more. And you've got that happening there. It's because Bungie is trying. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to cater more to the casual players, right? And it's not working. It's not working. But it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But it's definitely not working. Like if you cater casuals, sure they'll dip in, dip out, but they're not staying that long. They're not. So do I have a clear blue answer as an alternative? That's not my job. I'm just a player. I'm not the billion-dollar company that literally should be paying people to brainstorm and come up with a solution that satisfies the customer. My job as a customer is not to try to help the billion-dollar company and work for them to give them the solution that they can then use to benefit mostly them, then make us happy, right? I had a good idea to throw it out there. I'll leave that to the PvP mains out there, the people, the diehards, the people that are being actually neglected. I'll leave that to them, but don't be this ass clown who has zero logic, and in the moment you get clapped, you start attacking someone directly and moving the narrative away to something else. It's always a trip watching and interacting with some of the leaders or the mainstay people in the Destiny community. Very few of them have smart intellectual takes, and it's just, I'm thankful for the community and people who listen to me, and because I'm gonna be there for the player, by the game, or for the player, and I'm not gonna sit there and bullshit. Do I say stupid stuff all the time? I'm not better than anyone else in that regard, but at least I'm not I'm not being a retard. You know what I'm doing? I'm out here looking stupid, cosplaying Peter Griffin. That joke is going to get old very quick, and I'm going to get comments. Could you stop? Not today, Satan. Not today. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, don't forget to game out. Huzzah.